If you are going to be a top-level cornerback, then press man coverage is something that you have to master. We're talking about that today on DB Tip Clips. All right, before we jump into how exactly you are going to master the art of press man coverage, you know the drill. If you haven't had a chance to do it yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out great defensive back content like this on a weekly and monthly basis. And if you're looking to take your game to the elite level, you got to grab a copy of either my ebook or softcover book, 101 DB Tips. It's the best and ultimate defensive back guide that there is out there. Everything from how to cover in zone, how to cover in man, how to play nickel, safety, cornerback, how to train, how to watch film. Everything you need to be an elite defensive back can be found right there in the book, 101 DB Tips. I have a link to it in the description down below. And of course, there's the All Eyes DB Camp members area, over 200 videos on drills, tips, technique, analysis, as well as coverages explained. Also, everything that you need to become an elite defensive back. How about you get the book and the members area of membership? What an elite combo to take you to the top of your game. Links to that in the description down below. But let's jump in right now to mastering the art of press man coverage. In the fast-paced world of football, defensive backs play a pivotal role in disrupting the rhythm of opposing offenses. One of the most effective techniques in a cornerback's arsenal is press man coverage. This technique requires precise timing, physicality, and keen awareness to effectively neutralize even the most prolific wide receivers. In this video, we'll dive into the world of press man coverage, exploring the top techniques employed by elite defensive backs that make them true masters of the art. If you're new to press man coverage, it's a defensive strategy where a cornerback lines up close to the line of scrimmage and engages the opposing wide receiver with physical contact at the line of scrimmage. The goal is to disrupt the receiver's route timing, prevent a clean release off the line, and forcing him into unfavorable positions. The tight coverage technique requires a blend of skills, from physical prowess to football IQ. So what are the key techniques employed by the elite defensive backs that are true masters of press man? Number one is jamming at the line. The initial point of contact in press man coverage is crucial. Cornerbacks often use a quick and powerful jam to disrupt the receiver's release off the line of scrimmage. The jam involves using the hands to redirect the receiver's path and throw off their timing with the quarterback. Timing is paramount here. Mistiming the jam can lead to separation and big plays for the offense. This part of the game has been lost a little bit over the last few years as receivers have become more skilled at releasing off of the line of scrimmage. However, their increase in knowledge should not be a deterrent for defensive backs. As the receiver skill increases, so too should that of the defensive back. Double down on training your eye discipline and studying your technique. Free releases should not be a constant thing when playing press man. The second thing is mirror and shuffle. Once the initial jam is successful, elite defensive backs transition into a mirror and shuffle technique. This involves staying in close proximity to the receiver, moving laterally to match their movements, and preventing any separation. The cornerback's eyes are locked onto the receiver's hips, allowing them to react quickly to changes in direction. Some defensive backs elect to engage in this technique instead of the jam at the line of scrimmage. This is okay so long as you pair this up with some hard press techniques as well. Quick receivers will eventually eat your lunch if you constantly play a foot game with them. They will plot against your soft press and beat you to the spot. Change things up with an occasional hard press. If you're going to mirror, be sure to train your feet to be efficient and your eyes to be disciplined. You'll need both of those elements. Number three is hand placement. The placement of the hands is crucial throughout press man coverage. Defensive backs need to keep their hands on the receiver without grabbing or interfering illegally. The hands are used to redirect the receiver's route and maintain leverage. Correct hand placement enables the defender to control the receiver's movements while remaining in prime position to make a play on the ball. This is an underrated part of press man. Many defensive backs don't give much thought about exactly how and where to place their hands. Hard jams that are not involving lunging are preferred. The wide receiver must feel the jam and be affected by it. Furthermore, striking the proper part of the wide receiver can do wonders in disruption. I'm not one for striking the receiver's hips. Hips are the strongest part of the body. Instead, strike the chest when at the line of scrimmage and shoulder as you head down the field. Be leery of keeping your hand on the receiver as you move down the field, as they can either use it to throw you by, or they can also draw a flag from officials if you keep the hand on too long. Hip to hip positioning. As the play develops, Maintaining a hip-to-hip relationship with the receiver is vital. This positioning denies the receiver any space to create separation and effectively reduces the available throwing window for the quarterback. It requires a combination of footwork, balance, and body control to stay in sync with the receiver's route. This is a key element. Space away from the receiver is okay before the ball is thrown. However, once the ball is released, every effort should be made by the defensive back to get hip to hip with the receiver. This allows the DB to defend the ball thrown to any part of the receiver's body. This includes balls thrown high and above the defender's head. Number 5 is head turn and locate. Once the receiver makes his move, a skilled defensive back will execute a smooth head turn to locate the ball. This action allows the cornerback to play the receiver's eyes and make a play on the ball at the optimal moment. It's a high-risk, high-reward move that can result in an interception or a pass breakup. One of the biggest mistakes defensive backs make is not looking for the ball. Some DBs get nervous or forget that the goal is to get the turnover or at the very least prevent the receiver from catching the ball. Both of those outcomes are more likely when the defender can get his head around and see the ball approaching. Understand the situation, your location, and if you have help on a play. These factors should cue you in on when you can look for the ball during a route. Grab those interceptions. Finally, number 6, recovery techniques. Press man coverage doesn't always go as planned, and receivers can occasionally get a step on the cornerback. Elite defensive backs are adept at recovering from these situations using techniques like the trail technique, hip pocket technique, as well as others. These methods involve regaining positioning by getting back in close proximity to the receiver and minimizing the chance of a big gain. When you have an IQ that allows you to understand routes and know the defense, you can improve your recovery techniques when things go wrong. If you're beat to the corner or the end zone in cover 0, you understand that you must now play the receiver's hands. When you're beat in cover 1 with a route going to the middle of the field, you realize that there's an opportunity to undercut a route. Keep this in mind when you're playing press. Playing press man coverage is an art that requires a combination of physical prowess, football IQ, and technique mastery. Elite defensive backs utilize a variety of techniques from jamming at the line to hip-to-hip positioning to stifle even the most explosive wide receivers. The precision and skill involved in executing these techniques effectively are what separate the good from the great in the world of defensive backs. Effective studying and honing of your techniques will develop you into an elite defensive back that can use press technique to neutralize the best wide receivers that the offense will send your way. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like and a share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Great defensive back content being put out on a weekly and monthly basis. And of course, 2 big investments that you need to make in becoming an elite defensive back, and that is picking up a copy of 101 DB Tips, available both by ebook and softcover. Link is in the description down below, as well as checking out the All Eyes DB Camp members area. Over 200 videos teaching you all kind of things like technique, coverage, and drills to make you the best defensive back that you can be. All right, that's it for my time. I'm out of here, and as always, All Eyes DB Camp, consistency breeds results.